Go ahead.
From Chicago and Milwaukee and Minneapolis and beautiful Buda, Texas. This is Around Comics, the comic culture podcast, where we talk about everything in and around the world of comics and comics culture. I'm your host, Christopher Niesman. I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime, Mr. Brian Salazar. Hi, sir. Hola, ¿cómo está?
I'm in beautiful, sort of middle Texas.
Beautiful Buda.
Beautiful Buda outside of Austin, where everyone has COVID, apparently.
Yeah. Wear a mask.
I'm not even joking. At home, I knew one person with COVID. I came down here. 5 people I know, either relatives or people I am familiar with, have COVID. Didn't know it. It was like, bam, everyone I fucking know down here has it. I'm like, okay, I'm not leaving the house.
It's getting to be like that in Wisconsin. New record today. One day record. It's fantastic. Well, playing the part of Tom Caters this evening, even though Tom will be joining us a little bit later, the Minneapolis contingent of Around Comics, the beautiful and talented Brent Schoonover.
Hello.
Good to be
on here. It's been a while. So
it's been years.
Really has. I was talking to Nicole about, I'm like, hey, I'm going to be on Around Comics tonight. And she was just like, oh, Around Comics. She's like, that's awesome. And we got reminiscing about Windy City Con in like 2008, was it? So
that makes it sound old.
Yeah.
I gotta let my dog out of the. Has stuffed all 3 dogs in my office.
It is amazing how many, like, Windy City Con was 2 years, and like it was this little thing, and how much that is still the thing people bring up about Around Comics.
That was such a fun show, though. Like, we had a blast going there. Like
everybody says. I mean,
it's so funny.
The best named comic convention in Chicago. Let's just be honest. I love C2E2 as a show, but Comic-Con is such a better name than C2E2. Every time I have to explain C2E2, what that means to people who are in comics, they just look at me like, you already lost me.
I'll get some inside baseball. If we hadn't put that name on that convention, I'm pretty sure that C2E2 would be called the Windy City Comic Con.
We did offer to sell it to them.
We did. They didn't bite. No, they put all of their money into promoting it at that point.
Did you give a hardball number? Like,
I can't remember.
Never even got that far, I don't think.
Really? No. Dumb. That was a big mistake.
Still available for sale.
Look at that show now.
I actually have a Brent Schoonover. This is part of the show now, Brent, that we do the live stream.
Hold on.
That I show things off from
it's Chris.
So this is from C2E2 2012. I did this jam piece.
Oh yeah.
And you did the Hulk for me.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's like,
I mean, if we're gonna show stuff off, I'm gonna I got some cool stuff here to show off.
That's awesome.
Whitey. This is Whitey.
The 6-shooters.
I got some spurs. If you guys need some spurs, or if you need a new hat, I'm the guy. I got some hats. These are really practical if it's raining like golf balls. This is a really practical hat.
Well, I'm sure if it's like 110 in the sun and you need some shade, because that gives your entire for the audio show out there, Sal is wearing his uncle's sombrero.
One of his
one of many.
One of many. Very nice one.
So Brent, about that time, I'm thinking around C2E2. Is this what you were working on?
Yeah.
I'm holding up Mr. Murder is Dead once again for the audio listeners.
I feel like I had that book at Windy City Con or C2. I don't know. I remember exchanging that book with like Jeff Lemire for his first the Essex County trilogy, and then Chris Somney had a bunch of stuff that we traded. So I remember like meeting those guys at that show and doing a book exchange. And, you know, it was kind of like one of those, like, I feel like I robbed them blind, kind of like, look.
It's awesome, but it's 2011. So yeah, I think that first C2E2 was 2012, if I'm not mistaken. That sounds about right.
Well, yeah, the first one, I got the editor from when I was doing Toy Story comics for Boom. He switched over to Archaea, and he was the one who helped me get that job. So it's kind of like funny how I've gotten so many jobs at C2E2. It's kind of funny. Of all the conventions I've gone to, the best news I've gotten has always been at that show for some reason.
I haven't been in a couple of years. I think Sal went. That was the last big show before the COVID shutdown.
Like literally by like a week.
Yeah, because it was early March. But I think that show is it's still big enough that everyone is there, but it's not the mayhem of New York and San Diego.
Yeah,
so you can actually get some FaceTime with people, I think.
Yeah, and I just think too, it's like you know, I not everybody goes. Where like in New York, everybody goes. Like there's still a good group, but like it's not insane. Like the Marble Party is very workable. Like, you know, in terms of if you want to go talk to somebody. Where the New York one, you almost feel like you're in line to talk to anybody because it's just so packed. It's just got a laid back vibe. It's the best city in the world. I love Chicago. And,
that's my guy.
Yeah, that's my guy. It's just great. And so I don't know. There's something about it. I've just always enjoyed it. Even when I was a kid growing up in outside of Rockford, we used to go to the Rosemont, and we would drive into the show before it was, you know, the Wizard even took it over. And so
the great Chicago Comic-Con.
Yeah. And that's the first big show I ever went to.
Where at outside of Rockford did you grow up?
South Beloit, Illinois.
I work in Janesville and spend I drive through Beloit like twice a week.
I have a lot of family that I don't talk to that live in Janesville, Wisconsin.
probably for a reason.
Yeah.
My dad's from Rockford. He went to East.
So nice.
He's an ERAB.
Yeah. My brother still lives there. My mom and dad still live in South Beloit. My mom was actually mayor of our small town for a couple of years, which was kind of crazy.
Nice.
So I grew up, I mean, a town of 4,000 people. Like I graduated with like 36 kids, you know, and like I was the kid who drew, and they're like, we don't know what the fuck to do with this guy. So my senior year, like they just like had me paint murals in all schools, like the elementary school, the middle school, and like they're just like, we don't know what to do with them. So but me and my brother every summer we would go to the Chicago Comic-Con, and that's where I found MCAD, the art school that I ended up going up here in Minneapolis. And so they had a table, and I was just like, what? You can go to art, you can get a comic degree? And they had Ryan Kelly was at the table, and he was like the prodigy student that they were kind of showing off. He was already like the teacher's aide with Peter Gross. And so when I got up there, Ryan and Peter were working on Lucifer and stuff like that for Vertigo, and he would just be bringing in his pages. And it was awesome because you got to see a DC comic getting made right in front of you. And I don't know, Peter was a hard ass. Like I'm not like he was a hard teacher. Kind of felt like, you know, it took me years. Now I'm a parent like he was when he was teaching me, and I'm like, oh, you had children that were like, you know, under 2, and now you got to come teach, and you were probably up till like 2:30 in the morning. And you're here now, and you're gruff as shit, and you know, and you're just trying to whip these guys into shape. And
now you got to deal with a bunch of artists and fucking kids.
Yep. And now it's funny because me and Peter are good friends, and I actually bought his Cintiq companion from him. I went to his studio, and he was getting rid of it, and we just sat around and we were talking, and he was like, "Did you guys hate me when I was your teacher?" And I was like, "Well,
yeah, hate's a strong word."
Yeah, I love you. Like, honestly, though, like I think of every teacher I had there, and every teacher I kind of struggled having was my best teacher. You know, like I really learned a lot. Like I remember him telling me, like we took like these pitch pages from Marvel and DC that he had, and one of them was a Hulk story, and there was like an alien spaceship that crash lands in a football field during a football game, and he's like, so obviously I picked the Hulk one because that's like my favorite character. And so I just drew this really elaborate spaceship and I was super happy with it. And I brought it in. I was like, oh, he's going to like this. I could just feel it. And he just looked at me and he goes, dude, what are you doing? He goes, you're going to be getting this gig and you're going to have to do this, whole thing in like 4 weeks. He's like, just cover that spaceship in half shadows. And that way you don't have to draw you don't have to draw all this crap. And you've got the cockpit, and then he just did an overlay paper on top of my drawing. He just like bang, 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 and like he just drew the shadows all over the spaceship and all the dumb texture that I thought I was kicking ass on. And it looked so much cooler. And this was just a quick scribble for him. And it only took him like 3 minutes. And I'm like, shit, what am I thinking? And so he just has that magic, like that Alex Toth kind of like, you can show more with less kind of
economy of line.
And it's just always been his method of like, why would you draw more? They're not paying you anymore. Like I don't know.
I think it was Chris Burnham who is kind of known for doing a lot of hyper detailed stuff.
Yeah.
And he curses Jeff Darrow to this day. He's like, Jeff Darrow, why did you have to be my idol? Why couldn't it have been Alex Toth?
Yeah,
because Darrow's the guy that would be like drawing individual like nuts and bolts and like car explosions.
Yeah, and it's like whoever started putting seams on fucking superhero costumes. But no, and it was just stuff like that. It was totally smart stuff that you just like you just were trying to impress the teacher, but like impressing the teacher would have been like I came up with a real good solution that only took me half the time, and I think about that stuff a lot. I got a lot of Steve Lieber came into our studio one time too.
Oh, I love Lieber.
He drew I always have this like vellum overlay paper that they would just draw all over your pages, and it was just I still have them somewhere, and I wish I need to pull them out, but like it was just genius right over your shit. It was like, this is everything you're doing wrong. I'm going to show it to you. Bang, bang, bang. And I remember talking to Steve about that, and like I was just telling him, and I'm like, he just looked at me and like, I don't even remember that. I guess I don't expect him to, but it's like it was such a big thing for me, like light bulbs going off, and it's just for them, it's just dispersing common sense, really, And so, yeah, I don't know. It was crazy, but I always think of Chicago, and I'm like, man, if I hadn't gone with my brother and seeing that, like, I don't know. I was hell bent on going to a Chicago art school, and I visited all of them, and none of them clicked with me at all. I was just like, I love this town, and I should love, I should find one that I really want to go to, and it just, I don't know. None of them did. The one Alex Ross went to, I can't remember, American Academy
of Art.
And then there was one out in Schaumburg too that I visited. That I don't even know if it's around, to be honest with you, but anymore. But yeah,
there was like a whole generation of creators that kind of came out of that American Academy. It was like the Giannis came out of there, and I think Alex, but then not a ton. Maybe Jill Thompson? Did she? I don't know if she came out of there or not. But
I feel like she could have, but I don't remember very well.
Kind of that. It seemed like there was like an era that was kind of a comic creator, kind of incubator almost. But, as I was reading through Mr. Murder is Dead is one of my favorite works of yours. I love that style. It's it's kind of that. I compare it to a lot of my favorite Darwin Cook works, which I know you would hold in high regard. You were always like the Dick Tracy guy. I still don't know how you never got a gig doing the Dick Tracy strips. It would have been freaking perfect.
I have been so close so many times, man.
It's gonna happen.
I was up for one right after Mr. Murder, and never the comic strip. Always like comic projects. Like there were a couple times that I think Archaea thought they were going to get it. Actually, like Boom thought they were going to get it, and then it fell through. And then IDW got it like 2 years ago, and so I pitched hard. I didn't even ask. I just started sending pitches. And I got lucky because David Hedgecock, who used to be at Ape when I did Horrorwood back then.
Dave Hedgecock. There's a name from.
Yeah, I know. He's like one of the high guys up at IDW now. So I reached out.
Good for him.
Yeah, and I talked to him, and he was like, "Honestly, we don't know. We gotta wait to see how sales were." And unfortunately, they only got to do 2 things with it, and then they kind of wrapped up what they were doing. And so,
did we meet you through Ape Entertainment? Were you?
I was thinking about it, and I think, God, I feel like we did a podcast for Horrorwood actually at.
That's what it was. That's exactly what it was.
Because we were all crammed in a room, I think.
Yeah.
And then I walked out, and then I don't know if I want to say the name, but there was a Marvel guy who was passed out drunk at the bar at the Hyatt, like really drunk. And I'll tell you afterwards.
Yeah, it could be so many. I mean,
yeah.
In that era of BarCon.
Yeah, all you got to do is read the news.
I remember it was also shortly after that. I was at a table at the Hyatt, and the guy who played Little Boba Fett at the time for Attack of the Clones.
Yeah,
he saw my friend's really hot goth girlfriend, now wife, and he just like reached across our table to introduce himself as Boba Fett.
Hi, I'm Boba Fett.
Proceeded to spill all the drinks on the table. And Ray Park had to grab him because he was so drunk, and he was literally like 15 at the time. It's so. And so yeah, we always think of New York or Chicago Comic-Con as the time Little Boba Fett spilled all our drinks and then walked away without having to buy a new one. So, but yeah, I'm almost positive though we did a podcast in a hotel room.
It was in a hotel room. It was with it was with Hedgecock and most of the Ape folks.
Brent Irwin. Brent.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. He is no longer in the biz. So yeah.
Yeah. It's what was the I loved Horrorwood, but my favorite comic out of that Ape Entertainment era, I loved White Picket Fences.
White Picket Fences was good.
It was such a good little book.
I'm trying to remember, what was the one Francesco Francavilla and them did?
Well, yeah, it's the Black Cape or the Black something.
Yeah,
the Black Saber. It was something.
Yeah, I know, and that we were all.
I can picture the character. I just can't think of the name of the book.
We're all envious of their orders.
Black Cape.
I don't think it was the Black Cape.
Something like that. It was a swashbuckler thingamajigger. Yeah.
But I'm not even going to try to look it up. I think we're just going to go with Black Cape, and then we'll.
The Black Coat.
Black Coat. The Black Coat.
Black Coat.
There you go. I knew it was something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because you just keep going back and you remember. I think that Ape was one of those companies that got all the speakeasy books when that place was like. Remember that company was like rolling really good, and then all of a sudden the financials hit, and everybody was looking for a publisher at the last minute because they had all these books.
That's how Steve Bryant ended up over there, and Athena Voltaire became an Ape.
Yeah, it's so funny to go back and think about all that shit, and it's just like it does feel like a long time ago, but it also doesn't feel like a long time ago. It's like Speakeasy Comics, like I probably lost all those like through 3 moves ago,
Yeah.
But
it's so weird too. Like we didn't know it at the time of like we were caught up in this weird moment in Chicago, like and comics in general. We had no idea. We just started doing a comic book podcast,
right?
And we happened to just sort of like get involved with like this entire group of people that went on to do so many amazing things at so many different comic book publishers, and we had no clue that was sort of going or happening as we were doing it. It was really such a neat time to sort of get involved with.
It was perfect timing for podcasting, and then there was a new generation of artists getting into comics, and there was also a lot of new publishers too. So it was just like this perfect storm, and you guys were right there, and there were so many guys in Chicago who were like, I remember listening to the 24-hour podcast marathon you guys did, and I just remember how uncomfortable it was when like Tim Seeley just started like, we're going to talk about sex for the next hour, and like Norton's like, see you later.
It was the uncomfortable was whenever Tabor, if you remember John Tabor, and he got completely loaded on the Four Loko, if you remember Four Lokos. And so he was like completely jacked up on caffeine and completely hammered at the same time. And this is probably like 3 a.m. And I remember it's like, wow, shit just got really weird.
4 hours to go, guys.
He's a father now. He lives in Wisconsin.
Oh,
Tabor does?
He's back in Wisconsin, and he's a father. He's married. He has a couple of kids.
wow.
He was out in Hollywood for a while. He worked for Sony.
Was that Christopher Tabor or John?
Chris Tabor.
Chris Tabor, yeah.
Okay, Chris Tabor. Okay.
Yeah, because I remember he was on Norton's podcast for a while there and stuff.
Yeah, him and Mike were real good friends.
Yeah.
I don't know if they grew up together. Or,
yeah.
Well, the Crankcast was really 24 hours. That Chris Crank was who.
That was his idea.
That was his idea. That was his whole thing. Like he figured out how to do it. Because there was no live streaming podcast at the time. Like you couldn't physically do it. So we would record an hour and he would upload the hour as we were recording the next hour.
Yeah.
And that was the only way to do it.
For uploads.
Yeah.
I just remember getting there. I think we started like the whole idea was to start at like 8 a.m. on like Saturday and then go to 8 a.m. on Sunday. And I remember being there at like 7:30. I was a smoker at the time, and so I was probably standing out back behind Dark Tower Comics, having a cup of coffee and a cigarette. And Norton drives up, and he just looks at me. He's like, "God damn it! Of all the nights that you can't sleep, this one." So it's like he couldn't fall asleep the night before, so he had been up since like midnight or something already.
I've never seen a human being look like Mike Norton. About hour, I don't know what it was, 18. He's in a robe, and his eyes swelled shut from the lack of sleep. I mean, he literally could not see. I've still to this day, I've never seen something so horrific.
I think it was because he's like the Green Lantern. He can't be away from a pug that long.
It was something. It was wildly. There's the man that was there for all 24 hours. I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was there for all 24 hours. It was a long time. Yeah.
You've missed about 3 exit ramps of us going down memory lane.
Oh. No more nostalgia. Only forward facing.
That's right. I don't know. I just remember you guys had 24-hour podcasting, and we had the 24-hour comic. And I remember doing that once. And then I just remember, like, every year I just get these young guys from MCAD, the art school I went to, who are like, "We'd love to have you come and do it with us this year." I'm like, fuck you. No way I'm doing that. No.
Well, I think there was some. I think Burnham did a 24-hour comic while we were doing the 24-hour podcast. It was crazy. So
yeah.
All right. So Brent, because I know that you're on a time constraint. I was talking about Mr. Murder is Dead, and I was looking at the art style in that, and I'm looking at your new comic, which is Devil's Highway, which the first issue just came out from Upshot Comics. I'll show it there for the video folks. Hey, Jinx. This is a different art style for you.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back to Mr. Murder is Dead, I mean, that's over 10 years ago now, I think. So it's like you'd like to think you evolve a little bit and stuff like that. But
sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I think just as I kept going, it's not that I'm not cartoony or anything like that anymore. It certainly is, but I just wanted to try to change things up a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I'd been working at Marvel for, about 5 years straight or so, pretty regularly. And I just, you almost feel like you draw like on deadline, like whatever you're allowed to get done. I mean, I had some pretty rough ones there, like getting a full issue done in like 3 weeks and stuff like that, sometimes. Mm-hmm. And so on this one, it was just kind of like when I got the opportunity to do this, I was like, I really want to kind of clear the palette and kind of do something a little different, try some different things. And I was talking to the colorist Nick Velarde too, and like he kind of had some ideas of things he wanted to try to do on it. And so I kind of drew like anticipating what I think he was going to bring to it too. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. So, yeah.
Nice. Tell us, just out of curiosity, tell us a little bit about Upshot Comics. This is a new imprint for me.
Yeah. All right. So me and Ben Percy are both from Minnesota, and he was working at DC for a couple of years, and we met at a local comic show. And I was working on Captain Marvel or something at the time, and then he was working on Green Arrow. And we just got to know each other. We went out for breakfast before a con here and there, and we kind of realized we both were kind of more like itching to do like a crime book or something like that. We both were big fans of like Fatale and, you know, the Brubaker stuff. And he had told me that Axel Alonso had kind of got him on this Wolverine podcast that he was going to write called The Long Night.
Oh, that's good. Alonso? Who wrote that?
Benjamin Percy, the writer of Devil's Highway.
Oh, he wrote the one. Really?
Yeah. He wrote the 2 Wolverine podcasts for Stitcher.
Yeah, I know. I listened to that going back and forth from Milwaukee to Janesville.
Nice. They're really good. So
prove it.
So Axel was like, well, we can't have you just working on the Marvel podcast stuff. We want to get you kind of started over here on some comic book work. And just as they were kind of discussing ideas, and Ben was like, oh, me and Brent really want to work together on something. Axel was let go at Marvel. And so it was kind of a bummer. So we just started moving ahead with actually developing the pitch of Devil's Highway. And Axel reached out to Ben and said, hey, I've got this new project developing. It's new publishing house. We're looking for creator-owned books. If you've got anything, let me know. And so we sent him the pitch for Devil's Highway. He really liked it. And it was a little slow start just because they had some stuff to get together in order. So we kind of sat around for a while on it, which was kind of really frustrating, but it's been awesome. They've got a division that's creator owned, and then they've got stuff that's work for hire, and they've got stuff that they is going to connect like a superhero world. And then, but they also just have, you know, if you want to pitch your stuff, just, you know, as a creator owned thing, you can. And so to me, it feels like Vertigo, and to some of these other kind of comic publishers have kind of come and gone, but a little mature reader line for most part for everything. So it's been really great. I really like. I finally got to meet everybody in New York last year, which is always fun. Like, we've been working with someone for quite a while, and then you don't know who they are. And we all went out for a big steak dinner in New York last October, which was awesome. So nice. I think they've got a good approach. They're not going to unload 50 books a month on everybody. They're kind of only going to come out with like 5 or 6 titles a month, and they're going to kind of rotate from creator.
I just like going with the A-list talent, because I was at my local comic shop, and I was, you know, looking, and you know, for you guys, you know, you don't plan this stuff, but it came in a skip week for Marvel and DC.
Oh, I know. So it couldn't have worked out better for us, because there was like hardly any books to talk about. So
there was like 6 new books out, and I was just like, Schoonover, I know that name. So grabbed it, and I loved it, man. It's I mean, tell us a little bit about it. I gave a really bad, probably late in the podcast, 3 beers in synopsis of your serial killer truck driver. We just kind of started coming up with like.
I did listen to that. I did like, you guys are like, oh, a good old classic trucker comic.
We like nothing better than a trucker comic.
Or the golden age of trucker comics. This is no, it's, you know, Ben is a novelist. He's written about 5 or 6 books now. They're all set in kind of either the horror genre or crime, and he's always just been fascinated with the trucker industry, just because one night he was driving, and this truck he went by had a sign on the side that said show your tits. And so when he drove by, he flashed his tits to the truck driver, and as he thought he was being smart and funny, he looked, and the truck driver was dressed like a clown. And so he was pretty young at the time, and I think it was in the middle of Wisconsin, so it kind of left him with this fear of like, now I'm going to be driving like this truck driver dressed as a clown is driving directly behind me and knows where I'm going, and
you'll get him someday.
They'll reunite, you know. And so he was just doing some research that just like says that there's strong fact that there's a likelihood that the trucking industry, there's probably like about 15 to 16 serial killers occupied.
Yes.
Very weird.
This is the type of content.
Yeah,
I'm very into.
I mean,
all right.
Perfect.
This is the most excited I've seen Caters in 3 months.
Okay, here we go.
over loose facts. don't check them.
Yeah, no.
And
wild speculation is fine. I'm cool.
We had both also listened to this podcast on this smiley face killer theory. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but like, there's this theory that like there's these killers that leave smiley faces where their bodies show up at, and it was just this really disturbing, weird thing that probably isn't true, but like more coincidence. But I don't know, over a plate of pancakes one morning at breakfast, we were just talking about all this kind of stuff, and all of a sudden he just started pitching me ideas through text about, you know, having this kind of fish out of water, this woman who has to come back and, you know, find out who her father's murderer was. And she believes that it was a truck driver. So she sort of like, you know, hits the open road to try to find this person. And then she finds out there may be more than one. And, you know, it's just a fish out of water kind of story of chasing someone who killed, you know, a father and revenge. And I don't know. The script was just awesome. Like once he sent it to me, I was just like, this is the kind of book I've been wanting to do for a while. I've enjoyed drawing Captain Marvel and Ant-Man and all this stuff, but I was kind of ready for a change.
Trucks, 18-wheelers.
18-wheelers, big rig, you know, greasy.
I'm tired of drawing all these like huge properties. Give me a trucker.
Okay, give me some trucking.
Yeah. I don't want to do that Ant-Man who's got that big movie anymore. I want to draw.
Yeah. Give me a trucker. Yeah.
I want to draw, you know, bars.
I need lot lizards now.
Yeah. Believe me, it was tough, man, because Google searching all this shit while you got 2 kids running around, not easy. You got to lock that door a lot. Like it's
yeah.
So, Brent, let me ask you: are you a Peterbilt or a Mack guy? What kind of truck? You know, what kind of rig?
I'm a Mac guy.
Mac. All right.
I like my computers. I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think it's a perfect industry for serial killers. I can't see, you know, I mean, you have the open road, the wind in your hair.
You're always moving.
You're always moving around.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely. I mean, everything about that just kind of leads to like it's an ideal industry for that kind of thing. And
does anyone ever remember what a trucker really looks like?
No. I mean,
it's kind of like Elvis impersonators. They all kind of look alike.
No, besides the one that was dressed like a clown.
Except for that one.
Except for that one.
So since I started drawing this book, though, like once you hit the road, you're always kind of like looking, though, you know, like, hey, maybe this guy looks really fucked up, and I can put him in the book or something like that.
You guys have now made yourselves targets.
Right. I mean, if I had a CB radio, I'd be.
Yeah, all the truckers are like, someone's onto us. We got.
What would be your CB handle? Brent, I need to know that.
Oh man,
come on! You had a whole week to think of this.
Ground round? I don't know. I'm got a little shove. Cubby Bear seems to be a popular one. Apparently, when we were looking up, Cubby Bear is a really weird. But when you hear a guy with a really gravelly voice that called Cubby Bear, it's weird.
Really good, buddy. This is Cubby Bear coming at you. I'm hauling.
Now, did you guys have a CB radio when you were a kid? Because I did, and I learned a lot of stuff I probably shouldn't have learned at a very young age.
Absolutely,
yeah.
I did.
That was the internet of the 1980s.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
About every summer of my life, from birth to about 14, I traveled. We drove from Chicago to Arkansas and then Texas, southern Texas, every year and back. So yeah, CB radio was definitely a part of those trips.
Yeah.
I talked to a lot of truckers as a young man.
Explains so much.
I think, I was probably like 5 or 6, and I feel like I think I pieced together most of them were just doing like Andrew Dice Clay bits at the time. I didn't know because I wasn't watching that stuff, but like they were just reciting it for the other truckers, you know, and I'm like, This guy's hilarious.
This guy's jokes are incredible.
Oh
He's so rude. He's so rude.
Did you hear that hickory dickory dock? Oh,
his ability to rhyme and make pretty jokes is great.
Incredible.
How does he drive that truck and come up with this stuff?
Yeah.
So, but no, it's been really fun working with Ben. And Ben's working on Wolverine and X-Force right now at Marvel, and his Wolverine stuff has been fantastic. It's kind of old school Wolverine stuff. If you haven't really read a solo Wolverine book in a while, so it's been a good time working with him. And like I said, it's cool because he lives here in Minnesota, so we used to, before all this COVID shit started, we used to just sort of get together, either grab a beer or breakfast or whatever, and kind of just figure out ideas and stuff like that for the book. And we're hoping that this is just the first series, and we get to do another one or a couple, hopefully.
Yeah.
So
it seems to be a good team. I mean, it's you mentioned Fatale as a book that kind of inspired you guys. I mean, it you can see the Brubaker Phillips kind of relationship there.
Yeah.
In storytelling and art. So I'm sure that's kind of what you aspire to,
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody would love to do that, but and have the longevity that those guys have had. And then what's cool is Nick Velarde was my colorist on Howling Commandos years ago at Marvel, and
right.
We only got to work a little bit on that book, and then unfortunately got canceled. And I felt like we were just starting to find a groove working together, and I really always loved working with Nick. He kind of learned under Matt Wilson, and I just think he's got awesome color palette choices. And so to be able to work on something with him we had a really good lead time. He could just kind of do what he wanted to do and kind of get a little more painterly on the colors. Mm-hmm. I think he's just coming out with some of the best shit he's ever done. And he just turned in issue 4 colors, and they're fucking awesome. I just am really happy with him and how he's what he's done with it and stuff. And so buy it for the colors alone. It's a pretty looking thing he's got going on there. So
no, it's awesome. I love it. So it's a 5-issue series.
First 5 issues are going to be collected. It's all it's its own story, but it definitely leaves opportunity for more off-road trucking, if you will, more.
Yeah.
We'll see how the truckers react.
Yeah, see how the trucker market goes. They're going big on it.
Yeah, if a trucker in a clown suit pulls up in front of your house, the jig is up.
Yeah. So
I'd imagine a lot of truckers listen to podcasts.
I would think so.
It seems like the perfect sort of thing for a trucker, but I don't know.
Do you think anyone who's a serial killer has listened to our podcast?
I
mean, the math is there, right?
Probably.
Is it wrong for me to say I hope so?
Yes,
that's wrong. Okay.
Yes. So I know with COVID going on that the publishing schedule has been a little messed up, and you may not know all the answers. But are you guys basically on now that it's the first issue's out? Are you on basically a monthly release schedule? I mean, are comics in general on a monthly release schedule? Does anyone know?
What is a month anymore? Who knows?
Yeah. Our plan is every month, 5 months. And then I think the trade will be out. They'll take a month off, and then the trade will be out probably in February. Okay. So, until we all screw it up and we got to close shops and everything again. But, hopefully we'll be all right. So, but yeah, I mean, I just turned in the last issue a week and a half ago, so my end's done, so it's not my problem anymore.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. So, but
I know for people to buy stuff, this is what's going to be coming out. But are you on to anything else now, or is everything kind of up in the air?
I'm working. I mean, I can talk about it, but I can't really show any of the artwork. I've been working with Scholastic on. I don't know. Do you guys know the app Shudder? It's like a horror movie app by chance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They did a new revamp of the Creepshow TV.
Yeah.
Well, Scholastic's doing like young adult novels for Creepshow,
Really?
Get the kids into it. And I'm doing like 2-page intros for every story that's going to be in the books. So kind of like one will have one's like a splash page of the Creeper not, kind of like the Crypt Keeper or whatever. And then the other one's like an actual intro of the characters and stuff like that. So we've already done 2 books, and I think we're going to do a few more. So I've got a couple of those that are keeping me busy. And then
can you do me a favor with that? Because I just think the irony would be beautiful if you could somehow sneak in a Frederick Wortham image or something in one of those. Because the idea of like
the innocent on a bookshelf somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be funny. My editor probably wouldn't even realize it because she's like 22 and she's like,
there you go.
Yeah, not gonna know. And
I'm doing that. I've got a couple other things in the works, and I'm actually starting to write a graphic novel from. It's going to be a YA graphic novel. So, yeah, my kid started skateboarding recently, and I've really enjoyed going and taking her to the place she goes skateboarding at.
Oh, that's awesome.
This group, she's got this group of girls that they've got a club so every night they go, and it's only the girls that are allowed to be in there, and it's really cool. It's really awesome to see, and so I've started writing a girls skate club kind of graphic novel, and we're pitching it here soon. So
this is your $1 million idea, Brent.
I hope so. I I won't have to worry about truckers following me. Maybe I don't know.
That's awesome. It's just following you on social media and just knowing you. I mean, is it about 10 years now? I've always loved your comics work, but I love your beer label work.
Oh, thanks. I just wrapped it up this morning. So
I'm a graphic designer, and you're a fantastic commercial illustrator. I love your commercial work.
Yeah, Peter Krause, who did Powers of Shazam and Irredeemable and stuff, he lives up here, and some of the earliest advice he ever gave me was like, I'm never faithful to comics because comics will never be faithful to me. And so I've just always sort of kind of kept my hands in comics, but also the commercial world, just because, especially right now, it's been great. I feel bad. I've got so many friends who are just so comic specific, and it's just tough right now. There's, I think a lot of the publishers are going to go lean for the next year and a half, on stuff. So gigs are going to be really hard to get. And so I don't know. It's nice to have that other option to be like, if there's a beer label or whatever, that you can do that kind of stuff. And, I always tell all the kids when I go to speak at MCAD, where I went to school, it's like, I know you don't want to learn Adobe Illustrator, but you'll be glad you did, and to work in that program. So,
yeah, it always helps if you can throw a UPC on something.
That's right. Absolutely. And then they say, "Shut up, old man."
Get out of here.
I seriously
get out of here, boomer.
Yeah. I brought my senior project that was on like 6 zip discs, and they're like, "What the fuck is this?"
It's 100 megabytes, pal. That's what it is. 600 megabytes I'm holding here.
You have to crank that thing to start it?
They literally looked at one computer wondering if there was a spot that they could put it in. They were like, I don't know.
Special drive, my friend.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. But
those were a game changer, though, in the day.
They were.
Man. I was like, what? I could put that much data on one of these things? This is changing everything.
Yep, I know. And I remember like borrowing from my roommate, like, if like, hey, I've got 100 megs on this one. You can use this. But then when you get back to here, I gotta get it back. It was like baseball cards or some shit.
Oh yeah, it was whenever I was working in as a designer at the time, and you would send those things to the printer, and you would make sure to have like your company's logo on your discs, because they were not cheap, and you wanted to get all of that stuff back because reusable 100 megabyte media. So yes, we are old. This has just turned into the old man podcast. Oh, I used to cut Triscuit paper and overlays. And, yeah, that's Keyline Mechanicals.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you guys have any more questions for Brent? Because I know that we got to let him go here in a couple minutes. I think we covered the Devil's Highway stuff. Sal?
I was going to ask you, actually, going back just a little bit about the Scholastic stuff that you're working on. Is that like, do you think the Creepshow, the YA Creepshow, is that sort of like trying to get into the Goosebumps market, like that same sort of audience?
Yeah. Until COVID kind of kicked in, and then, all the George Floyd stuff going on, I don't really know. I got to think the market's going to shift, but they were like, horror is going to be the next big thing for kids. Like, I don't know. They had a lot of stuff in production. I don't know how that's going to change now, but because I'm like, I don't know how many people are with everything going on in the world right now. Like, let's sit down and read a horror comic or something. But I was worried with Devil's Highway if people were just not going to be in the mood for something like that. And so far we've been getting well reviewed and everything like that. So I don't know, but yeah, for a while there they saw the opportunity to kind of do like a Goosebumps kind of thing with like a well-known property, and so. Yeah,
I think pandemic stories might take a hit.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Walking Dead, zombie stuff, maybe.
Is this finally going to be the thing that kills zombie comics and stories? Because we're going on like 15 years now, right?
Yeah, it's cyclical. It'll come back, like like everything.
Like
else.
A zombie.
Yeah, like a zombie. There you go.
I thought event books would be done by now. Like I was hoping that would be the thing that would go away, but
I wish they were.
Those. So, but
they must sell because they make the shit out of those, and it's just like I can't read them. If I see something with a checklist, fuck off.
No.
I'm out.
If I need to look up the reading order,
forget it, man. You lost me.
You lost me.
I tried the last one. I tried Hickman's, House of X stuff. I even got the big hardcover. I tried to read it at night. I'm just like,
well, the good thing about that was you could have just read, like, I just read the X-Men. Yeah. And you didn't have to read all the other stuff really to like. I liked that book. I thought that book was done pretty well, but like, yeah, I can barely pay attention to like 4 issues, of something. You can't give me 28 different issues over 6 months with, 14 different creative teams. No, come on, man. Forget it. I don't know who's buying this stuff.
No kids. Brent is buying it.
Yeah,
I'm buying it.
Yeah. So, well, thank you guys for having me, man. I appreciate it, and we should begin soon because it was fun to catch up. So,
like I said, it's been I told Sal this. We did the podcast from like 2006 to whenever it was, 2012, whatever. It was like 6-year run of Around Comics, and there were 2 creators whenever we decided to stop doing this the first time around that got in touch with me, and you were one of them, and and that always meant a lot to me. That
such a go-getter, man. Such a go-getter. I also have to say I miss Tom versus the Flash, by the way.
You and everyone else.
Yeah, well, I ain't got the time for that.
Don't hold your breath.
I wasn't asking for it back. I just it'll take, I don't know what, I mean, I guess maybe my kids being able to take care of themselves.
When Tom's 60 and his kids are retired out of his life and he's retired.
Out of my life. When they can take care of themselves, when they don't want to talk to me anymore.
One of them becomes the Flash.
Yeah, when they start ignoring me, then maybe I'll have time to do it. They still like me. That's the problem.
Did Barry Allen stop being the Flash when he had kids? What the hell? I mean,
I don't think he had kids.
Didn't he? Didn't Barry?
No.
He had kids.
No,
He was sterile.
He was sterile.
Oh, I thought Barry had kids.
I didn't know Barry was sterile.
Yeah, super speed.
Sterile from the Speed Force.
Yeah. There is some weird like one-shot comic that was like a retro comic, like they had Carrie Bates write it, and I gotta find. I think I was reading it to my son like a week or 2 ago. And the story was that Gorilla Grodd, like the hook at the beginning of the story is that Gorilla Grodd and Iris had a child together.
Oh, really?
But it was really that he like cloned himself and like tricked Iris into like taking care of his like gorilla clone son.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it's pretty messed up.
Talk about like a
Carrie Bates.
a shitty dad.
Great. And then like the cloned kid like aged like he was growing like
a memorable issue if they just called it "I fucked a gorilla."
Yeah, it is. He was aging super rapidly, so he died like an old man. Like, and
Man.
it was
They did
Who fucking wrote that? Jesus.
Carrie Bates, man. He's still got the magic. He's like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this weird ass story that no one would ever in 1,000 years do now.
Imagine if they did.
But I was like, this is a good story.
Imagine if they did a Silver Age cover to that though, with Iris and Gorilla.
Yeah. Well, the first page is Grodd and Iris posing with his kid, like for like a family photo.
I want a Brian Boland. I want a Brian Boland cover of that, like super highly detailed.
Here, I'm gonna see if I can find it, and I'll email it to you.
Nice.
Nice. All right. Well, Mr. Brent Schoonover, it's always good to see you. Let's not make it be like 6 or however years since we talked to you last. Let's.
Hey, for the record, I talked to him.
You do.
We talked on. I don't know if it was Around Comics or one of these shows, but so it wasn't that long.
No, we were seeing each other at the C2E2 and stuff too. So,
yeah,
but Sal gets around.
Yeah, man, him and his snake. So,
hey, you can't wear a hat like this and not attract attention, my friend. It comes with the hat.
All right,
Sal,
you guys have a great night. I will hopefully see you guys soon. Thanks again.
All right, thanks, Brent.
Adios, muchacho.
Bye.
All right, Brian and Tom, you guys catch up. I'm gonna go freshen up my drink.
What?
Find out what's going on in Tom's life.
Pause. You don't get a little drink pause.
I'm taking a drink pause.
Jesus Christ! Really? This guy so unprofessional. Now we get to stare at his pillow.
It's his pillow.
What's up, Tom? I don't know.
From my back.
That shirt you're wearing, it almost looks like you're wearing like you're at the barber shop, and you're kind of.
I think I got it like weirdly tucked behind me. It's like.
I'm like, is Tom getting a haircut while we're doing it?
It's like
that'd be so awesome if you had a barber come in.
It's just like cutting my hair while we were doing it.
That would be great.
It's with my big, broad shoulders.
Oh, wow.
No, it's just a standard. It's a LL Bean t-shirt.
All right.
It's quite comfortable, actually.
What's going on with you, Tom?
Oh, not much. Just pandemicking it up. Just having a good time.
Pansexual.
Yeah.
I was telling Chris, like I'm in Texas right now. I went down to Austin. Outside of Austin, and it's like I knew one person that had COVID at home. I came here and I know 5 people already, like in 2 days. I've been here less than 48 hours, and already 5 people I know have it. And I'm just like, Jesus, okay, I'm not leaving the house. I'm staying right here. I'm not going anywhere until I drive out of here.
Yep. Yeah.
It's terrible.
Well, anyway, I mean, we're fucked, so. But
it's just gonna end up burning out. It's gonna infect everyone, and that's when it will stop because we're all idiots. Anyway,
Hey, Chris, did you wear that shirt because I'm in Austin?
I'm wearing Calexico.
Yeah,
just one of my.
I know that guy. I kind of know the guitarist. That's where I got the tattoo when I was.
No. That's
Lucero. Well, that was Memphis.
That's Lucero.
Oh, all right. Never mind.
Yeah, this is Calexico. They're out of Arizona.
Same goddamn name almost. Jesus. Every band you listen to, it's like the same.
Ends in an O.
Yeah. I love Calexico. They are a fantastic band. So thanks once again to Brent Schoonover. Pick up Devil's Highway. It's out from Upshot Comics. Issue 1 is on stands now. It'll come out monthly. He just wrapped up the 5th issue. The art on it will be out and collected probably the end of the year. We haven't done if you want to contact the show information tonight, if you would like to do so, you can email us where, Mr. Salazar?
I don't know. info@roundcomics.com.
True, and we're on Facebook and Periscope and TikTok and no TikTok because there are apparently some security issues there.
I did want to bring up actually that Marvel has had a trucking comic in the past.
Did they?
It was called US1.
Really?
Yeah, I'm putting a link into a blog entry about it in the.
When did that?
1983.
Wow, how did that go past my radar? I'm disappointed in myself, quite honestly.
Yeah, how'd you guys? Yeah, come on.
That I didn't know. Let's see. Let's pull this up here. US1. Was it? I mean, I'm shocked that there wasn't like a Smokey and the Bandit comic.
I love that the address is 1983. The world cried out for a trucking-based comic book hero.
Shout out to Blog Into Mystery, which is where
I'm going to share this with our viewers. Hold on one
12
second.
issue run, guys. 12 issues.
Really?
US1, yeah.
That's back.
12 issues of a comic.
You could have a long run of comics back in those
That's
days.
hilarious.
Nice.
12 issues of US1. Did it come up? I'm having problems here.
Oh, okay.
Hold
there
on
we go.
1 second.
Oh, Al Milgram. Oh, it's Herb Trimpe art, man.
Yeah, I just wanted everyone to know before all the US1 fans start screaming at us, like there's been trucking comics. Yes, we know there's been trucking comics. Calm the fuck down,
man.
Look at that.
Yeah.
High adventure trucking down the highway.
Yeah.
Wow. Actually, I think I'm going to have to go pick this up. Is this collected? Just in a hardcover collection somewhere?
The omnibus.
Yeah, someone.
the
US1 hardcover?
Hi there. I'm Ed Wheeler. Oh, well, that's the perfect name for a trucker, Ed Wheeler. I mean, of course.
Of course it is.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe
It's not.
you know me better.
I hate to break it to you guys. It's not collected.
Ah.
Oh, wow. Maybe you know me better as Papa Wheeler. Papa Wheeler. Get it?
US1 Marvel.
Papa Wheeler. Nice.
Why is Marvel Comics afraid to collect and publish and make sure America can get access to this 12 issue
Look
trucker
at the
comic?
console of that truck. Oh my god!
Reprint it, you cowards! Give America what they want. They want
This is some Kirby stuff right here. We got some Kirby-esque electronics in this truck.
Yeah.
Hey, Trimpe was his own man.
Yeah.
What? Who do you think? I mean, Joe Quesada. Do we have to get on Joe Quesada to see if he'll?
No, I was gonna say, what current writer and artist would you want to tackle?
That's a good.
The revamp of US1, US2.
Neil Gaiman and.
Nah, it's got to be an American. I don't want some talking about lorries and shit. Come on.
Do they even have truck drivers in Britain?
Damn.
I mean, they're probably called.
They're called lorries.
They're called lorries. This isn't Lorry 2. This is US2, the sequel to US1.
Guys, I mean, it's even though they are working on a new series together, but this is tailor. I mean, if in all seriousness, it's tailor made for Jason Aaron and R.M. Guara. Right.
I don't know if Jason Aaron has
the scout crew.
I don't know if he has the chops, honestly, to handle something like this. I mean, sure, he's written Thor and he's written all sorts of good comics, but this is serious
heavy stuff.
Yeah. There's
Well-
two main characters: the truck and the highway.
Who could write?
Not the driver, the truck.
Driving and the highway.
Is this a self-driving truck? Is this an AI truck that we're dealing with? Maybe
In this
That's
relaunch,
good.
yeah, definitely.
It's an
Haunted.
AI? Or are we dealing with more of like a Silver Surfer Herald of Galactus type
But in a truck.
truck? Although technically, in I'm trying to think of what it's. Have you guys Avengers of Wasteland? It's Avengers of Wasteland is a series. I think it's going on right now. It's maybe issue 2 or 3 is out, and it's like a post-apocalyptic Avengers book, basically.
Oh, cool.
But in it there is a truck driver that picks up a kid. I think it's Avengers. No, I'm wrong. It's not Avengers of Wasteland. It's Marvel's X. I believe it's Marvel's X, which is Kurt Busiek.
Yeah.
Music, and in it is a young kid who's like fascinated with all the Marvel superheroes. But
Is this tied in with like Earth X?
It's like no, not Earth X. It's Marvel's. It's the Marvel's kind of thing in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about a kid who like is obsessed with the heroes, but now all the heroes are gone. So he goes on the road
In a truck.
and he gets picked up by a truck driver
And murdered.
No.
Oh, okay.
But I believe it's Johnny Blaze is the truck driver.
Oh, that's cool.
Ghost Rider. Yeah.
We are in the golden age of trucking comics.
I think it's coming back. I think
It's coming
right
back,
now,
maybe.
You know,
US 2.
Lure of the open road.
Yeah.
I'm thinking a real American. He's an American hero, really, but he's not a Marvel writer anymore. But Tom King could have written.
Oh,
he's a man who served his country. I mean,
Yeah.
who else could really hold up the standard needed?
It's US 1.
It is
Us.
US.
Us 1. It works on so many levels.
And then maybe like, I don't know. I'm thinking the Chris Somney.
Yeah.
Maybe Tom King, Chris Somney, maybe would be my pick.
I want to see that team on something. I don't know if the revamp of US 1 is really where I want to see that team come together.
Maybe it's just the book you didn't know you wanted to see.
It could be. Those books do happen from time to time.
Yeah. You didn't know you wanted to see US 2. And here it is.
Well, while we're throwing this around, I mean, what's the basic plot? What's the basic pitch here? The
truck is cursed, and if you
like it,
you are cursed to drive the truck until you trick someone else into getting into the seat.
Oh, kind of a Pirates of the Caribbean.
The truck is kind of like almost like a monkey's paw.
It is, yeah. It's got a monkey's paw. Actually, stenciled on the hood of the truck. On the
monkey paw trucking.
It's monkey paw trucking. Yeah. So it's a constantly rotating cast of drivers who are attempting to trick other people into driving
the truck.
Driving this truck, right?
Because once you get behind the wheel,
you're always behind the wheel forever.
Stuck.
Yeah, you're stuck.
You can't. This is a wheel you can't climb. This is a cab you can't climb out of.
Yeah, that's idea number 1. If you don't like that,
keep going.
The truck is alive, and it's actually driving the driver. The driver is a robot that the truck controls. So when you flip it around, it's not a driver driving the truck.
Wait a minute. This takes the whole us two.
Yeah. Us two. Yeah. That's a great title. It works.
There's some meta stuff going on.
Yeah.
I mean, us two.
Yeah, this is like a Hickman version.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
But all the action happens between issues, though.
Now we're cooking with Diesel, guys.
Let me ask you: Is there any time travel involved?
Yeah, of course. It's all time travel.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, it's yeah, of course. A tremendous, just an insane amount of time travel happening.
Yeah, the truck is like 1,000 years old, and so you can
Wait a minute.
you can see stories of the truck throughout history.
Mhm.
I think we're facing the end of trucking as we know it, and the truck has to go back in time to
Yeah.
the golden age of truck driving,
Yeah.
1974,
Yeah.
to save trucking from
Yeah.
the future. I think that's
Yeah.
All right.
It's a self-driving. It's a self-driving truck from the future, but in order to fit in, it needs a robot driver to fake the fact that it's like a normal truck. It's yeah. 12 issues easy.
I mean,
How here, man?
how accurate is this robot driver? Like, is it able to pick up lounge lizards?
Oh no, it's like it's barely able.
Lot
to
lizard, sir.
Oh, sorry, lot lizard.
Hello, fellow truck drivers.
So I grew up near a truck stop. So
you're a lot lizard. You have a
Skelly's truck stop in Marion, Illinois. So that
is that where you lost your virginity?
it is not, sir. But I did learn the term lot lizard at a very young age.
Oh, God.
All right,
Was there a couple of
let me try and save this.
US 2 coming out 2021.
US 2.
US 2, Us 2.
The sequel.
two.
Us
Come on, man.
2. Tom,
Get on board, guys. Marvel
have
can
you had a
feel bad
chance?
if they want. I don't care.
Thomas, in
Yeah.
your spare
Is
time,
Papa Wheeler involved? I mean, do we get a Papa Wheeler cameo?
Last issue cliffhanger.
All right.
Yeah, he's at the end. Yeah,
you guys are terrible. Tom, have you had a chance to watch The Old Guard on Netflix?
I haven't watched it. No,
Okay. Have you read The Old Guard?
I have. Yeah,
Comics.
Yeah.
That's interesting because so I've both read it and watched it. Sal has watched it, not read it, and you've read it and not watched it. Do we want to talk about that tonight, or do we want to hold off for a week?
Let's hold off because I
Okay.
can't stay on too much longer.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Watch it though this week if you have a chance.
Sure.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very, very good adaptation of the comic, and I noticed that Greg Rucka actually wrote the screenplay. So yeah.
I may not be able to record next Sunday because I literally may be trucking back from.
Us too.
I'm not even joking. I may literally be driving not an 18-wheeler, but a truck from
So
Texas.
are you one of the 15 or 16 in the country?
I cannot answer that, sir. I mean, on the grounds that I may incriminate myself.
No need. Don't answer.
All right. Well, the next time we record.
I mean, this would be the fastest that we would ever talk about anything that we said we were going to talk about. So people should just be happy.
True.
In these times, in these unprecedented times, just be happy.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, what the fuck are you doing?
Be pleased with what you get.
Why are you in such a rush?
I mean, the fact that none of the three of us have not been hospitalized at this point is a miracle.
Yeah, it is.
So, be
For
grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's being down in Texas has freaked you out a little bit, hasn't it?
I mean,
Right.
a little. Flying in was the biggest sort of concern. Once I'm here, I didn't, plan on really going anywhere. So that,
You're not down there with the wife and kids, are you?
No.
Okay.
My wife is coming though. Next Friday, she's coming down. But yeah, I'm here with my sisters and my one uncle and cousin. But yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know. I'm not running around doing stuff or being stupid. I'm still, masked and cleaning everything. I mean, I literally went on the plane with a baggie of Clorox or like Lysol wipes and wiped down the entire row that I was sitting in, and that kind of thing. So
Act plane.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was half empty. I had a row to myself, so that was nice.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Be safe down there and definitely travel safe.
Yeah, I think I'm all right. If I haven't gotten it by now, I don't know. I keep trying. I mean, obviously, I'm pushing my luck. It's hard to.
I mean, what are you going to go directly to Florida next?
Yeah, right.
You're gonna come to Illinois.
It's like, oh well, I didn't get it while I was here.
Loop around to Florida.
Yeah.
Drive
up.
up.
Disney World.
Yeah.
Let's go to Disney World. Surprise.
Yeah, that's the plan.
It's
we're going to drive to Disney World. We're going to.
One of the companies that we work with, that we buy goods from, I'm calling about an order that has to be delivered this week, and I got a call back from our rep, and she's like, Chris, I can't check on where the order is right now because someone in our office tested positive. They shut down the entire office. They're going in and basically sanitizing the entire office. I'm on my way to get tested right now, and they're not even going to open the office until Monday at the earliest. So
tell me where my order is.
Yeah, and at that point, I was like,
none of this is an answer.
I was like, take care of your shit. They're going to have to deal with it. That's fine. But then there are people out there who's like, it's only killing 1% of the people. Give me my fucking order. Yeah. And that's the bullshit that's going on out there. But yeah, it's fucking scary. So
yeah, I mean, I flew into Austin. Like I said, the flight was about half empty. My row was empty. There was nobody sitting in front of me. There was one person sitting behind me. Everybody was wearing masks. In the airport, people were wearing masks. The Uber driver I got was wearing a mask, and I, talking to him a little bit about it, and he's like, it's I mean, it's hard to understand necessarily because it's like, I think there is a certain amount of hyperbole to all of it. Mm-hmm. The news just having to report something and just, and just the lack of any clear information that we have, and just sort of people, I think, almost not wanting it to be bad, but like wanting it to, like, people want something to blame Trump for. I mean, let's be honest. Not that you need anything to blame him for, but it's like, it's almost like, well, see, it's just worse and worse and worse. So I don't know. I mean,
but the thing is,
but it is real, and it is
people should be panicking. like
people should be smart. I don't know if they should be panicking. But
well, you should definitely be scared.
Yes, you should.
You should be
careful.
Like,
like, you should be smart and be careful. Like, for sure.
It's like every single one of these places where people are like, well, it's not a big deal here. Guess what? Yeah. 4 weeks from now, it's a big fucking deal because it doesn't care. Yeah, no, it's a contagious disease.
It doesn't care who you voted for.
Yeah, it's like, it's not like going to get bored and go away or be like, oh, these guys, they're like not scared of me, It's
well, you
good work. I'm gonna leave.
You've got to get curling talk in tonight, but that's the thing, is that the clubs out there, including the one I play at, are already talking about what we're going to have to do this year, and wearing masks while you're playing is part of it. And we've already had the rush of, it's like, oh, well, I'm not going to play wearing a mask. It's like, well, then you are not going to be a part of this.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Like, I mean, and like I said, I came here. I did go. We did have to go get some groceries because there was like nothing, in the house. Mm-hmm. So we went to a grocery store, and everybody there is wearing masks. I mean,
now.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't see anybody. And it's just like,
Sal, you and Tom, because you're a big Packer fan. When it's, I think, either going to absolutely effing piss off people, or it's gonna finally click that this is a problem, is whenever they don't have NFL games this year.
Because people will be furious, or college football or whatever. But it's also like when I talk to my son and he doesn't do the thing I asked him to do, and then he doesn't get what he wants,
Yeah.
He's like, oh, what is this? Like, because you didn't fucking do the one thing you had to do.
Yeah.
You only had.
We have to reopen.
Wear the fucking masks.
Like, no, we don't, because
don't go into a lake with 1,000 other people at a stupid dance party. Like, that's all you had to do. Just don't do that.
Don't do that.
It's
don't
fine.
do that, and you get football.
Yeah, all you had to do is not do the dumbest thing.
Well, that was I found out like a cousin of mine, not really like through marriage.
I love these stories.
He's like early 20s.
Yeah.
Found out he got it, and I was like, well, how did he get it? Oh, he went to a party.
Yeah.
Okay. Duh. Like,
yeah.
okay.
That's how diseases spread.
Yeah.
Does not.
And he went to a party like out of town. Like he went out of town and he went to a party. It's just like, oh, okay, I don't.
All right.
Try to help you. You know, I mean, on some level, it is Darwinism.
Yeah.
On some level, we're getting some sort of like, oh, well, culling of the stupid.
Yeah.
You're that fucking dumb, but it's like, you know, the problem is that you're going to spread it to a lot of people that don't.
Yeah. You're just increasing the chances of
you know,
other
and
people.
that's and I you know, they're talking about reopening schools. It's like, I'm not fucking worried about the kids. You know, quite honestly, that's not the problem. They're going to run out of fucking teachers. That's the problem.
I mean,
they're going to run out of teachers.
I'm worried about my kids.
I know you're worried about your kids, but that's not the issue. Is there's not going to be anyone left to teach them.
Listen, guys,
because there aren't enough teachers to begin with.
Enough of this negative talk. We're only fueling the sickness. I wish I could switch my background to my American flag background. Just have faith in dear leader, and it'll disappear. It'll just disappear someday.
Yeah.
The heat will get rid of it somehow.
I'm going to Mexico.
Yeah, they don't want us. They don't want us coming in now.
Look,
we're getting over the wall.
Nobody wants us.
Hey, that's what we figured out, Sal, is that the wall works both ways.
Yeah.
You're screwed.
We're now the shithole country. And nobody wants like oh, I don't want any, and rightfully so.
I'm not.
Why would you want a bunch of
you're locked in
dumb
with me.
dumb Americans who are like, oh, I can't be bothered to wear a mask is so restrictive.
Mask is gonna kill me.
Like
carbon dioxide.
Why would you want us bringing our diseased bodies into your country? Like, come on.
The masks are worse than the disease, Tom. I mean, yeah. So
yeah,
wear them for 12 hours a day.
Like, yeah, people wear masks all the time.
No.
Yeah, all these doctors are probably dying from the masks.
No, that's what it is.
Probably because they're so restrictive.
Tom, do we need to let you go tonight?
I gotta go. I'm sorry. I got vented. I got venting on COVID. Everyone wear masks.
All right. So I think
don't go to giant dance parties and pools.
Offline. Brent is, I think, our last guest here for a little while, so we're going to get back to some comics talk the next time we get together, depending on where Sal is in the world. But we're definitely
I'm going to be in like maybe Dallas area.
Okay, that's fine. But I think
on his way to Disney World.
My way to Disney.
Yep.
Yeah,
heading there directly. Get your fast passes.
We're definitely planning on talking about the Old Guard, the first volume of that, and then the Netflix movie, and other stuff. So yeah. So next time together, comics talk.
Whew. Yeah, guys, just truckers, wear your masks.
Stop killing people.
Don't stop killing people through the spread of this disease, and stop strangling people at rest stops.
Stop asking people to show you their tits.
Yeah, just stop killing. Whatever you're doing,
I just can't wait till I get to Disney and I can go through those big fans that blow water at you.
Oh yeah,
that's going to be the best. Standing in a crowd of people with like.
I can't wait to breathe on somebody. Get right up next to him and just breathe on them.
Hi.
For how much money I'm paying for these tickets, I need to be able to breathe on a minimum wage worker.
I want to see someone die in front of me.
Yeah,
the cost of these tickets.
Oh.
Do you know how expensive it is to stay at Disney?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's very expensive.
Well, and you want me to wear a mask?
You want me?
You know what I paid for these tickets?
I have a nice. I'll wear a mask next time. We do the show
on the show. Okay.
Yeah, do it masked. Watch, I'll faint. It's too hot.
Got the vapors.
I can't get enough oxygen.
Tom's got the vapors in his
podcaster dies on air. Mask too restrictive. My freedoms. So I just slump over.
I'm dying from freedom withdrawal.
The tree of liberty must be watered with the blood of baby. I just slump over and go off screen.
Don't tread on.
Don't tread on me.
Trump 2020.
All right, boys. Yeah, let's wrap this one up. So it's good to see you, but depending on Sal's schedule, we'll probably be back in about a week or so.
Yeah, I mean, it might work out. I won't know.
We'll see.
Yeah.
You're doing.
Record it while you drive. Safe.
Mm-hmm.
No problem.
Yeah. Maybe we'll catch you in like a Motel 6 in Alabaster, Alabama or something.
That's probably likely. Something like that.
Catch you in the cab of a big rig as the guy's about to murder you. Oh, thank goodness.
Oh, God. Take me.
That's my freedoms.
That would be amazing. All right. Well, guys, always fun. Once again, big thanks to Brent Schoonover. Go out and pick up Devil's Highway. Come up with your trucker CB handle for us. Email us those at info@aroundcomics.com. If you listen to this on the audio only version, that's awesome. Just know that we have the YouTube video versions and we live stream usually just about every Sunday night at 8:00 Central Standard Time. There is swag to buy at is it aroundcomics.com, Sal?
/shop.
/shop.
Here, I'll put the here we go.
There you go.
There on Tom. Tom's wearing the shirt now.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what's up, guys?
There you go. Nice. Go get you a hat. Go get you a coffee mug. That's my favorite.
Do we have Around Comics masks yet?
No, I didn't make. I probably should.
I would wear that. Let's do it. I'm ready. So you let us know. You chime in on the Facebook group or email us if you want the Around Comics mask. Send us all your
just a mask that says "I'm taking back drink roll call." This is my drink roll call belongs to me. Oh, I invented saying what you're drinking.
I did invent it. This is what I was drinking tonight, Tom.
That's an unfortunate can design.
It is.
Is that a cow getting blowjob? What the fuck? By a dog? Is that like Snoopy giving a cow a blowjob? What is going on there?
It's a pretty explicit picture on a can of spotted cow from New Glarus.
I had a margarita. It's gone now.
Nice.
Tom.
So that was tonight's drink roll call.
Oh, I was just drinking some lemonade.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, I was actually. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah. I was just drinking lemonade.
Oh yeah. I'm good.
And lemonade and?
No, just lemonade.
Wow.
I feel like drinking.
I thought you quit drinking, Chris. What happened?
I did for like 3 weeks. And then I started running like 2.5 miles a day in the morning so I could start drinking again.
Running a marathon every day. I run 24 miles a day so I can crack open a 6-pack every night.
1.5 miles a day so I can drink at night. That is a true story. And Marta's like, I'm not losing any weight. She's like, because you drink a lot. So,
Doesn't work. Doesn't work like that.
Yeah. All right. I'm holding steady.
As long as you're happy.
Just keep living, man.
All right. Well, we will be back again around next week, tentatively. We're going to talk the Old Guard. Send us your thoughts on that book and movie. In the meantime,
in between time,
we'll be everywhere in
and around Trucking Comics. Trucking Comics every
serial killers. Comics. Props.
Bye. I have to go.
Good night. Bye, Tom.